Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, we are going to solve another easy and beginner friendly lead code problem, count operations to obtain zero. This is the lead code problem number 2169, count operations to obtain zero. So in this video, we will understand what the problem is asking, step by step logical thinking, and finally implement the optimized solution in C++ language. This problem is really useful for understanding loops, conditional logic, simulation problems, and interview style problem solving. So let's get started. So first, let's understand the problem statement carefully. Here we are given two non-negative integers num1 and num2. In one operation, if num1 is greater or equal to num2, you must subtract num2 from num1, otherwise subtract num1 from num2. For example, if num1 equals to 5 and num2 equals to 4, subtract num2 from num1, thus obtaining num1 equals to 1 and num2 equals to 4. However, if num1 equals to 4 and num2 equals to 5, then after one operation, num1 equals to 4 and num2 equals to 1. Return the number of operations required to make either number 1 equals to 0 or number 2 equals to 0. So here we are given two integers num1 and num2. So our task is to keep performing operations until one number becomes 0. Now what is one operation? Here there are given some rules that we are supposed to follow. So rule 1 is if num1 is greater or equal to num2, then we should we should perform num1 minus num2. And if num2 is greater than num1, then num2 minus num1. So, and every subtraction counts as one operation. Like if we have if we have performed this, then it will be counted as one operation. And we will need to count all the operations that we need to perform to make an either num1 or either num2 equal to 0. So at the end of the solution, we will return the total number of operations. So let's like first write the code and understand it. So as we need to count the operations, so first of all we will create a count variable. Then we'll use a while loop while num1 not equals to 0, num2 not equals to 0. One is greater equals to num2, one equals to num2, else num2 num1. Here we will increment the count. And at last we return count. So let's check if it is valid or not. As you can see, it is accepted for all the test cases. So now let's submit and check if it is valid for all the possible test cases. Mm, Now, as you can see, a solution is accepted. So now let's understand the code step by step. So First, we have initialized a count variable at 0, which will uh, store the total operations. Then we have used a while loop, and loop runs until either num1 or num2 becomes 0. And we have used an if-else condition, like if num1 is greater than num2, then we will decrement num1, then we will subtract num2 from num1 and save the subtracted value to num1. So we have used this condition. This can uh, also be written as num1 equals to num1 minus num2. This and this both are one and the same thing. So you can write in this way also and in this way also. So, if this situation won't be true, then we will run the else condition, and we will subtract number one from number two, and at last we will increment the count variable, and outside the while loop we will return the count variable, which will store the total operations that we have performed. So here one important thing, this problem is based on simulation. Like we are simply following the rules step by step. Many interview problems work like this. Just simulate the process carefully. So now let's analyze complexity. In in mm, in worst case, loop runs multiple times. Time complexity becomes approximately order of n, and space complexity becomes order of 1. Since we have used one variable only, count variable, space complexity becomes order of 1. So that was the complete explanation of LeetCode 2169, count operations to obtain 0 in C++. So here we covered problem understanding, logical thinking, code explanation, and complexity analysis. So if you found this video helpful, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment which lead code problem you want next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.